Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you? When you join, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from on beautiful planet Earth, or if you are on another planet, I love to know. I think right now I would like to be on Saturn if I could be on another planet, or if I visited another planet. So anyway, maybe let me know what planet you would like to join, if not. But for those of you who don't know me, hey Laura, my name is Colin Gallagher, and I'm super excited to be here today because I'm talking about the 4-week program that I'm launching on May 1st, Change Your Relationship with Money. And today I will be coming on at 7 p.m. live every day until Friday to talk about admitting that you have a relationship with money. And I wanted to come on and talk about this today specifically because there's a lot going on in the world for many of us. I know in America it's like at an all-time high of people being unemployed. I know globally, it's also just crazy with corporations being closed. Global trade is down unless you're in agriculture or medical field. So I know trade all across the globe. When I mean by trade is products and goods being moved from one country to another. It's down. No one really knows what's happening with the stock market, I feel, or even with COVID. Like, do we go outside? Do we not? It's a lot of confusion. And so why this came about is because I was doing my 2019 taxes during this time, and I had a lot of interesting stories come up around money. And so I'd love for those of you who join, or those of you who are on the replay, I can swipe here. What is your relationship with money? I'd love to hear Brian, Lori, Kathy, Brooke, so many beautiful people. I'd love to hear from you. Like, what do you believe your relationship with money is? Do you have a relationship with money? Do you have a business? Like, have you thought about how to ever make extra income more than maybe just a corporate setting or a 9-to-5 job? Have you ever thought about making your own income online? Are you using technology, network marketing companies, having multiple other ways to look at where you could create a new stream of income? And if no one answers, that's totally fine, but just something to think about. And so when I was doing my taxes, I realized that I had all these old beliefs and all these old stories come up around money. I had a lot of shame and I had a lot of guilt, and I was realizing that in the last kind of year, probably my business, I had a very nervous feel around clients. I had a very nervous feel around business. I had a very activating or supercharged around how is this going to work out? Am I delivering? Is this valuable enough? And I had all these feelings come up, which I think for any business owner, if that's how you're functioning, it's definitely not very healthy, and it's definitely not in a state of allowing you to be in a state of receiving. And so as I was doing my taxes, I had all these feelings arise, and I had all these feelings come up around that of, holy shit, I have all these anxious feelings and negative feelings coming up when I'm looking at finances. And so I looked at, okay, what can I do to shift these? And I had all these things in my toolbox of what I knew how to shift them, of where I could stop avoiding, where I could stop feeling bad, where I could stop being in that frantic energy. And I started to realize, how could I go into a more empowered state? How could I feel better about it? And I started to realize, how could I go into a more calm state, an excited state? And these are things that I want to teach you in this online program, because I remember when I started working with a mentor about a year and a half ago. For my first mentor I ever hired and ever worked with, I really started looking at a lot of these things. How can I talk about finances different? How can I show up for them differently? How can I not have such a worry or anxious feeling around them? And I've done a lot of work to implement that throughout my life, and that's something that I definitely want to help a lot of you work through and see how you can have a much more wholesome relationship with it. So that is week one, is because I want you to realize no matter where you are in life, you have a deeply intimate relationship with money, because money is simply a byproduct of a problem going on in your life. Or let's say if you're living in total alignment, you're going to be making, what it is that you like or want. If you are not living in alignment and you are pushing yourself, or you're struggling, or you have anxious feelings, then you aren't really going to probably have the abundance that you're truly desiring, because you don't believe you're abundant in your heart. And so I want to talk about that in week one with you and take you through some modalities of whatever it is, because whether you realize it or not, you have a deeply interwoven relationship that you avoid, that you're excited about, or that you talk with money, with yourself, with whatever that it is. It's a deeply present relationship that you have energetically, just as you have a relationship with your parents or your partner or your friends or your family, or even a relationship you have with yourself. You can avoid having a relationship with yourself, or you can look yourself in the mirror and understand that you have a deeply interwoven relationship with yourself. You could admit it, acknowledge it, and understand if it's a good relationship and it's a healthy relationship, or it's not. And I want to get you in a place where you're acknowledging it and you're working through it, and I'm sharing with you modalities that I've learned to get you in a better feeling state around financial situations that you may be in, or your business may be in, and really teach you tactics of how you can start to increase your income through different incomes, and using social media or technology to do that. The other week 2 that we'll go into is called Reclaim Your Power with Money. And so I want to first teach you to admit you have a relationship, and then I want to teach you how you can actually reclaim your power with it to be in the most highest vibration or expansive state for you. And a lot of people, like I shared, when we're living through life, we avoid relationships with ourselves, or we kind of are maybe doing something in business that we know we don't really want to be doing. So we may be selling like an e-commerce product, or we may be selling like a service, or maybe a book that maybe we're not really passionate about, but we're doing it because we think that by doing that we're going to receive an income from it. Well, that's not really empowering, or it's not really a way that I feel someone who really wants to impact the world would be acting out of, right? Someone who really wants to impact the world, which most of you who are watching this are definitely purpose-driven, and you're definitely someone who wants to have an impact on this planet, you would really want to be creating and offering a solution that's going to guide others in a way that you didn't have. What was something that happened in your life that you wish something would have been there to help you through it, and how do you create from that? And that's the place of reclaiming your relationship. The second thing that I want to, or the third week that we'll talk about, is knowing the difference between spending, investing, and debt. So, as I shared, I have a really deep learning lesson that I learned of how to know when you're acting in a place of spending mindlessly, and when you're spending as an investment, and you're spending that's going to actually create you to go in debt. So a way that I like to share about this is, think of your time. So every time that you utilize your time on something, if you have a conversation with someone, if you go to the grocery store, like whatever that is, your time, every time you show up to something, you're putting a frequency into the field. And what I mean by the field is the air that exists around us, which is known as the universe. And so when you show up to something, you are putting a frequency into the field that is saying, okay, I'm showing up and mindlessly doing this task, so I'm just going to the grocery store, I'm just doing this thing mindlessly to get it done, and I'm not really being present for the journey of it. Which, when you're doing that, all you're sending to the universe is a frequency of, I'm not being present in my body. So out goes a frequency of this, I'm not being present, I'm just doing something to get it done. Well, the universe is going to deliver back to you a frequency. And that frequency is going to come to you through relationships, through money, through school. It could be grades, if that's what you want to do. It could be through illness. It could be a lot of things. But when you mindlessly are doing something, the universe is going to come back to you that you're mindlessly spending. When you're mindfully using your time to do something that's going to create a better infrastructure for your life, then you're investing your time into something that's going to create a return. So the universe will that you send that into the universe. The universe then sends back a ripple to you, which comes back in the form of an investment, which you get a return on investment with. And the other thing is when you're kind of wasting your time, or when you're doing things that aren't at all where source, God, universe wants you, then the universe comes back in a frequency that probably most of the time puts you in debt. And those are 3 ways that I want to go through in this program with you to teach you how to know the difference with your time and those frequencies that you're sending in the universe, and how you can change those frequencies to move more in your favor. And then week 4 is how to start co-creating with your money. So I really want to teach you how you, as a visionary, as a business owner, as a solution-orientated person, can take action in your life to really start co-creating with your life instead of it just happening to you. I know that I've been someone in the past, and probably still have a few lessons to learn with it. We probably all do. That I would just go with the flow. I would just be like, let's go with the flow, let's see what happens. And I wouldn't really have a clear direction or discernment of where I was going from my core. And anytime that we're not moving from our core, which is a major part of our body, it's the center of our body, we are usually acting out of distractions. So we can't really be co-creating in the infinite world. And so I want to teach you what it means to start co-creating with energy, and what it means to start co-creating with the beautiful thoughts that your mind have, and to start co-creating with your beautiful heart. Because we have 3 brains that actually exist in us, and this is scientifically proven. You can Google it. We have our heart brain, which is here, our mind, and our gut brain. And the beautiful thing is we want to get you moving to work with all 3. Your mind, your gut, and your heart are moving in alignment as one brain, so that they're all moving in coherence with each other. And so I want to teach you how to do that in some practices and modalities, because as I said, what I'm teaching you in this course isn't like a typical finance course. I'm not a financial person or accountant. I really want to teach you the energetics of what it means to be a holistic being, what it means to be an energetic being, what it means to be someone who's multidimensional. So for example, if you're watching this and you're someone who has many talents, let's say you're really good at video gaming, you're really good at being a husband or a wife or a mom or a dad and a business owner and a writer and a gardener, like you really are someone who has multi-talents, you have a lot of different talents, then this course is absolutely for you, because I teach you not only just changing your relationship with money, because money is simply just a byproduct, right, of something not internally working, like something not internally being in alignment. And what I mean by alignment is you are choosing to act in a way that doesn't feel good. And maybe you don't know any better. You think that I have to force myself to do these things or to be in this way for there to be a certain impact or for there to be a certain result that I desire to achieve. Yet that's actually illusion, because if you were to step back and pause and see the greater picture, you would see that the greatest thing for you to do is to actually be who you really are. And I fell in that trap a lot before, and I want to teach you how to not do that for yourself in the capacity that I did it for myself. So these are the 4 weeks that we'll be going through. There's 4 calls. It's all online. It starts on May 1st, Friday, which I'm super excited about. And we have 4 45 minutes calls. It will be the 1st, I think like it's the 8th, the 15th, and the 24th, something like this. We have a private membership group, so when you join, you'll get to be in that. And it's only $333 for the investment. I'll leave my PayPal below, and you can PayPal me, and I'll make sure that we get you on the calls and we get you in the Facebook group. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to receive your questions or anything that you have around it, because as I shared, this is something that I wanted to create because when I was doing my taxes as a business owner, I realized that there was a lot of things that I didn't know that I wish I would have known. And I realized that if I was actually willing to slow down in the past, and I could have captured other people's advice, or I could have actually been part of a community to process some of the things going on internally with me, I could have had some very different results in my life. And so with this program, it's for you if you feel like you're someone who's struggling right now with COVID-19. You feel like you don't really know what the future holds for you or your business. You're kind of feeling like this sense of uneasiness, disease in yourself, and you're probably feeling like you want to have answers. You want to set yourself up to have a strong foundation to really thrive and succeed in the future. This is also for you if you're someone who feels like you're super frustrated by government infrastructures, government marketing, government media tactics to impose fear on people. You're probably someone who's a big researcher, you're extremely knowledgeable, but you're maybe nervous to show up on camera, you maybe feel like you're socially awkward, you maybe feel like you talk too much. You probably have these kind of limiting beliefs coming up in you, and as a result of that, you probably always take less than you deserve, or you ask for less than you deserve, and you really want to start shifting that because you're here to have a big impact in a global way. And the thing that I know to be true is if you're someone who wants to impact the world, you can't just blame the people that have money. You have to be the person that starts to create your own money and finances, to then create the infrastructure that you are so brilliantly and so smart already researched what needs to happen or how it needs to happen. Hello, Chloe, my angel. So this is definitely for you, and if you're someone who's maybe even just curious, you're like, Colleen, you're talking about global structures, you're talking about global politics, you are talking about changing your relationship with money, you're talking about energy, and I'll also talk about like how to use your psychic abilities, how to overcome anxiety, how to empower yourself as a highly sensitive person, or how to empower yourself as an empathic person. If you're clairvoyant, you're clairsentient, you're clairgusto, all these things, I want to help you understand what your spiritual gift is. Maybe your Reiki, maybe your energy reading, whatever that it is. I want to help you understand with those gifts how you can change your relationship with money so you truly can be the impact you want. So anyway, I'll leave my PayPal link in the bottom. You can send me the $333 and I will make sure that you get enrolled. Super excited for this and super excited for you to be part of it.